Well, I've been on a bit of a Starship binge lately, so let's have a look at another Legacy name with a lineage all of its own, like the Enterprise. This time, let's look at the USS Farragut. The Farragut is one constant vessel name, it seems, a legacy that began in the 1800s. As usual, this video will contain a lot of memory beta content. Starfleet's Farragut was named after naval vessels of the United States Navy from as early as the 19th century. The first seems to have been a torpedo boat, and it was named after a David Farragut from the American Civil War. During World War I, there was a Clemson-class destroyer of the same name. During the Second World War, there was a USS Farragut that was eventually decommissioned. June 1957 saw the emergence of the Farragut-class destroyer, one of which bore the name. And as of this recording, there is an Arleigh Burke-class USS Farragut DDG-99. It seems like there's been very little time in recent history where there wasn't a vessel with the name, and this continues into the fictional future of Star Trek. One of the 14 Constitution-class vessels was named the USS Farragut, and constructed around the same time as the first 5 of her ilk, including the Hood, Constitution, and Enterprise. She was active by 2247 and given the registry of NCC 1702. Some references list it with the number 1647. However, so far the Constitution ships are generally 1700s, and so 1702 makes more sense. Its first captain was Nichama Rabin, but by 2254 it had changed hands to Captain Stephen Garovic. Lieutenant James T. Kirk took the position of phaser operator, making it his first deep space vessel. In 2257, Captain Garovic was killed in action above Tycho 4, and command fell to the next highest available officer, Kirk. He returned the vessel to the nearest Federation starbase for repairs. Before it could be effectively returned to service, however, it came under attack once again from an extra-dimensional creature, and in order to save the 200 crew members, the saucer was detached and the primary hull destructed. A second Constitution vessel was launched sometime in the 2260s and also called the USS Farragut with a new registry of NCC 1729. This ship had the first captain of Kelly Bogle, who was replaced in 2268 by Captain Phillips. As part of the final Constitution refit that occurred in the 2270s, the Farragut was brought in for extensive overhaul, but disappeared shortly after. By the time it was found again in an unknown circumstance, the Constitution's time in the spotlight had passed, and it was assigned to the new Federation member world, Magna Roma, and rechristened the USS Centurion. Sometime after the vessel's disappearance, an Excelsior-class USS Farragut with the early registry NCC 2021 was launched, but not much of this vessel is known, but it likely operated into the early 24th century. The next ship of this legacy we see is the USS Farragut NCC 60597. This was a Nebula-class vessel, and as such it had extensive utility thanks to this class's large array mounted atop the vessel. This module was interchangeable among the Nebula class, from enhanced scanners to a tactical variety that was essentially a large weapons platform. The Farragut was the latter, continuing the tradition of it being a warship of sorts, but totally not, because Starfleet doesn't do warships. Just science vessels with planet-levelling arsenals strapped to their back. It seemed to be utilised in several rescue operations in its lifetime, once in 2369, where it and several other vessels responded to help the refugees from abandoned Cardassian camps, Cardassian and Bajoran alike. It also responded to the crash of the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D to evacuate the survivors. In the Klingon-Federation tensions that led up to the Dominion War in 2373, the USS Farragut was destroyed in an ambush in the Lambata cluster. That same year, a brand new vessel bore the name. This was another Excelsior-class vessel. Look, I love the Excelsior, but that does seem like a bit of a step backwards. Well, turns out this vessel, Registry NCC 2582, was in reservation as a cadet training vessel, much as the original Enterprise had been at the end of its career. And it was the emergence of the Dominion threat that made Starfleet turn to reactivating older vessels, upgrading and sending them into the front in an effort to bolster the fleet. This was the fate of the new USS Farragut, which eventually served as the flagship of Admiral William Ross. These ships seem to have one constant in common: battle. Named for a lineage of contemporary destroyers, the Constitution class was attacked twice in quick succession, the Nebula class was a casualty of war, and the final Excelsior class saw use as a flagship in the final assault on Cardassia Prime. It seems that wherever firepower is needed, a Farragut isn't too far away. Thanks for watching this light lore video on another of Star Trek's legacy vessels. And as usual, if you have another ship named you want me to investigate, the comments section or smoke signals are usually a good way to get my attention. Until the next video, I've been Rick and I'll see you later. Good hunting.